What happened to the music? Oh,
I can't find out. There it is.
It's June and people are already starting with the fireworks. It's fucking June.
Fireworks don't stop in my neighborhood. Fireworks and guns. That's all I hear all year.
There's a big fire right next to me at the next to Cal Expo and all that dry grassland.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think some homeless people started a fire. It's 120 acres.
120 acres.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ban homeless people.
We're streaming, right?
Solution of the century.
All right. So, you guys ready to get started?
Yep.
All right. So where we left off, the party had infiltrated to various degrees of stealth a laboratory in Mag City at the behest of Mr. Torben von Hippel with the assistance of his assistant, Grayson. You went to the Kiln Cybernetics, where you landed on the roof, blew a bunch of shit up, essentially sounded the alarm, rang the dinner bell, and then blew a hole in the ceiling and jumped down to retrieve a very expensive prototypical optic unit for the Von Hippel's champion Murloc, who was fighting in the Honor League.
Still got fucked up.
Yep. Upon completing this, we'll call it a heist, you were each paid out by Grayson in the amount of $2,000 a person, in addition to VIP tickets to the grand finals of the 6v6 teams in the Honor League. As you retired in the house of Daru's uncle, you had a discussion amongst your party as to what your next steps were, how you felt about working with the Von Hippel Corporation, and we start our session today as you all wake up. The morning is yours, and you are scheduled to be picked up by an associate of Mr. Von Hippel to observe the game. So before you guys head out, is there anything that you are all trying to do?
Is there any food in this house? Search the fridge.
Okay. Looking through the fridge, there is some spoiled milk, some mildewy cheese,
Okay.
some pretty juicy vegetables, and you have a couple things that have like preservatives. It looks like Daru's uncle or whoever's been living here likes to keep peanut butter in the refrigerator. So there's that.
Is Daru
we're
up?
staying. I didn't realize we're staying at Daru's uncle's house.
Yeah, that's where you guys were last session.
Yeah, I would have slept in a tiny bit.
I'm gonna go into his room and throw the peanut butter at him.
Okay. Daru, as you...
Who does this? Who keeps this in the fridge? Do you feel how cold that is?
Good morning.
I'm gonna walk away. And then I'm gonna start making some veggies.
Okay.
Just set the peanut butter aside.
Okay. Now, when I said juicy vegetables, I'm talking they've been rotting for weeks.
Shit. Maybe we should just go get something to eat. Eat out,
Okay.
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 maybe we should stock this place up whenever we can.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. For now, fast food.
I'm gonna wake up Fira.
What do you want?
We're gonna get food. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we can sneak food into the Coliseum, or is it like a no external food or drink?
I think we'll be fine bringing it in.
Okay. And that's a good thing too, because as you have this thought, there is a prompt knock on the door.
I'll go answer.
Okay. As you answer, you see a sort of green jaundiced skin of a smallish individual, appears to be male, with missing a nasal bone, kind of pointed ears, dressed very finely, who says, greetings, I'm looking for a, and he opens up a little notepad and says, Daru Thal, Ezra Hemlock, and continues to list off all your party members' names.
Yeah, well, I think you found us.
My name is Toby, and I'm here to bring you to the grand finals of the Honor League box seats with the Mr. Von Hippel.
What a
Right.
great
We were
name.
just about to get breakfast, though.
Yeah, can we stop somewhere on the way to get something to eat? You know,
Oh,
all our food's rotten.
But of course, wherever you'd like to go, I've been instructed to take you to, and with that, he kind of looks over and says, take you a little early to get you outfitted in a more appropriate attire for such an event.
Was he trying to look into the house? I'm gonna block.
No, he was looking at your clothes.
Okay. Well, okay. I swing the door open. Hey, we can get food, everybody. And I guess we gotta go now. To get changed or something?
I like my clothes. I think they're fine.
It's courtesy of Mr. Von Hippel. He advised that no expense would be spared.
Do we keep the clothes afterwards?
Why, yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So, with that, you get in what appears to be it's not quite a limousine, but it's essentially about a 7-seater stretched vehicle that's just got essentially one extra row.
Cool. I'm gonna hop in.
So as you all hop in, Toby is required by his employer to take you to wherever it is you want to go. You do have a time limit, so what sort of food are you looking for out in Mag City?
Do we know the time?
Pancakes.
You would, Daru.
Take us to the fanciest place you can think of. Wait, are you paying for the food?
It's a company dollars.
Yeah, what's a fancy
Hell yeah.
place, you know?
Let's go to the fanciest breakfast. I'm gonna take us to the fanciest breakfast place.
Okay.
Probably somewhere along a
Make
river.
a persuasion check.
I'm good at those. 18.
18? Okay. After a bit of convincing, Toby, a little flustered, acquiesces. What he does is he calls ahead to the restaurant that's known as the River Lily, and he doesn't allow you to order yourself,
Aw.
but he asks for a fine meal for 6 individuals to be prepared while you go clothes shopping, because you are on a tight deadline.
Okay. Can make this work.
Asher yelled out pancakes, so he at the very end says, and be sure that one of the dishes features pancakes.
Hey!
Okay. So with that, he is going to bring you to a very fine clothing store that looks like it has actually been cleared out for this occasion.
Oh shit.
As you, it's pretty early in the morning. As you look at the hours for this store, it looks like it opens at about 5 p.m.
Jesus.
Yet, it appears to be open for your crew. At this point, Toby is pretty stressed out, as it seems you guys are already running a little late. So, as you go in, you see that there are 6 attendants ready for each and every one of you that are essentially your personal assistants for finding fashionable attire and evening wear for tonight's event.
Awesome.
So with their aid, you can sort of negotiate an outfit that is somewhat in between what you would be comfortable in and something that would be appropriate for such an event.
I want to fucking sparkle. Can I
Okay,
sparkle?
Ezra, what kind of outfit are you looking for?
I want to get the fucking brightest, most sparklest thing I can find and put it on.
Okay, so Ezra, what you're brought to is essentially what looks like almost like a diamond embroidered, very like slim cut. It almost looks like a spoof of a wedding dress. It's very like pure white, and it's very there's a huge contrast between your just sleeves that go from your shoulder and chest all the way down to your hands. Many of you have not really seen her full sleeve of tattoos, as she always got the armored arm guards. But Ezra's looking pretty fabulous. Daru, Mr. Swagger, what are we looking like tonight?
Just a black suit with maybe some like brown accent colors.
Okay.
And just for since we're keeping the shit, I'd like a brown tattered scarf to replace my old college one.
Okay. So sure enough, your clothes are put in bags, and Daru comes out looking like how people in animes look like when they wear suits, where everything's just perfectly like slim and fit.
Yeah.
Wearing one of those. They don't have a tattered brown scarf.
I'll tatter it myself.
You can tatter it yourself. So you watch as Daru, presumably with your psychic blades.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You watch as Daru himself just takes this scarf, and you watch as it just levitates in the air, and almost like it's going through an invisible blender, just all these cuts just go through it, and it looks like it's seen a hard life. As that happens, your male assistant Jaden just goes,
It's all on the tab, Jaden. It looks better this way anyways.
Can I fetch another?
Wrap it around. Nope, this one's good enough.
Okay, Asher.
I'd like a lime green tuxedo with matching top hat and a cane.
Make a persuasion check.
Subtle.
Let's see how to do that. Okay, that's a 15.
15?
Yeah.
You, Asher, had an absolute delight as you had a very enchanting assistant known as Jormar. This individual had very bluish skin, almost seemingly perpetually like sweating, with hair that seems to just flow as though they're underwater. It reminds you of the individual that you saw that ferried you across the to the port of Tempest. a little colorful. This individual is looking over you, a little rough, grabs you and kind of spins you around. And just as you mention the top hat, they're just like, yes, yes, yes.
But,
And they pull you into the back.
what
and get you,
request do you need for that?
and they get you
Loosen
a beautiful
the
top hat.
sleeve?
What's that?
Could you loosen the sleeves so my gauntlet gets a bit?
And with that, this individual just kind of grabs the sleeve and says, "Oh no, darling, you can't do that. Look, it accentuates these muscular feline arms. Look at that. Extend and flex. Extend, flex. Beautiful. Don't raise your arms past the shoulders, okay?
Got it.
All right, Fira, you're up next.
All right, I want like the Swiss Army knife of suits. Make it white,
Okay.
and I want my familiar to like go around my neck, kind of like the dead fur animal.
Oh. Okay. So Fira comes out looking like if the Monopoly Man was a pimp. Beautiful white Colonel Sanders suit, but fitted. Beautiful, kind of like a power suit energy, but also very feminine. Fira, your assistant actually doesn't help you a whole lot as you enter with purpose. You know exactly what you want, and they just sort of sit there and imagine that they're probably going to be fired for not doing anything.
Okay.
As this happens, you kind of come back all fitted, and after a few minutes, you see Virgil enter the fray, looking exactly like the male version of Fira. As he looks over to you and says, "I like your sense of fashion."
Likewise.
And Hyde
Whatever.
gets a new pair of suspenders, and he gets a new shirt that's not ripped and tattered. The bandages from his arms are removed, and he's provided with new ones per his insistence. He doesn't put them on, of course. And he looks pretty much the same, just everything's new and flashy, but he gets a large leather kind of matrixy trench coat
Ooh.
Nice.
to go along with it. He's looking like he's hitting the town in Victorian England. So, as you're all dressed, you are thanked by the proprietor, a Miss Nadim, who looks at you all and blows you all kisses as Toby sort of rushes you. Okay, we're late. If you don't move now, we don't eat. Let's go.
Move that fast.
So with that, you drive pretty haphazardly. In fact, I'm going to make a piloting check for this one.
I'm gonna bless him.
Do some guidance.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll throw him the guidance.
Okay, so you're all kind of grabbing onto your seats as you guys are flying through traffic. Mag City traffic life is a bit what I imagine it would be like driving through a populated city in Korea, where everyone's pretty rock and roll about the rules. So there's one point where Toby just veers off onto the wrong side of the road to pass this line of cars, and there's an oncoming vehicle that is not slowing down.
You got this, Toby. Toby, you
all
got
of you,
this.
all of you kind of close your eyes. Asher, you cut through the upholstery with your claws as you gear up for impact. And Ezra, with that, you close your eyes, say a quick prayer to the traveler, reach out and put your arm on Toby's shoulder. And with that, right as you do that, it seems like the vehicle kicks into the next gear, and he just gets enough acceleration to speed over and swerve over, nearly missing a woman who was crossing the street.
What a
And you're
dumbass.
all
Get out of the
unscathed.
road.
You do make it to the River Lily. You get your breakfasts. it looks like Toby got himself a sandwich as well that he sets aside, and you are now speeding your way to the Coliseum. And presumably, he's not giving you your food yet. It's just up front waiting for you.
I'll grab it.
Okay, you want to reach forward and grab it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you get my
Sarah,
tea?
you reach forward and grab it, and as you do, he goes, there's a cold turkey sandwich in there. That was for me. I had not eaten it.
Okay.
And with that, he takes you to the Coliseum, slams on the brakes, steps out, rushes over, stops right before your door, and kind of rights himself, fixes his tie, and opens it. And with that, he says, I greatly appreciate your flexibility.
You as well, Toby.
And he's kind of standing there awkwardly.
I'm gonna like walk by and kind of like slap him in the face a little bit. Like, good job, Toby. I'm gonna keep going.
The
I
rest of
step
you
out
just
of the
leave?
car last. And then I just wait next to him. So, does Mr. Von Hippel appreciate punctuality?
More than anything.
Right.
As do his workers appreciate the gratitude of those they serve.
I don't know if this is allowed. I pull out $10.
It's not only allowed, as it is expected, and usually much more. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And with that, he puts it in his pocket, shuts the door behind you, and goes around and speeds off.
No, before he leaves, can I use Eyes of the Grave
Okay.
on him?
Make an Arcana check.
17?
17. Presumably you're trying to figure out what he is.
If he's undead.
Okay. As you do, as you're about to kind of pondering this and looking over at him, you see his kind of green, somewhat liver-spotted skin. He appears to be elderly, even though you don't really notice much hair on him.
So he's not dead, he's just old.
He appears to be, as you consider this, of Gith ancestry.
Okay.
You with that Arcana check, you would know of the different factions of the Gith Zerai and the Gith Yankee. You have no idea which he would belong to, or if those terms are even applicable to him.
Yeah, okay.
But it is kind of a rare sight to see a Gith individual within Dweomerheart, but this appears to be one of them.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, at this point it's about afternoon. You still have a few hours before the fight starts. You have your food in hand. I don't think you all really had time to dig in. And did you leave him his sandwich?
Yeah, we left him his
Yeah.
sandwich.
Okay, so his sandwich is presumably still in the front seat. Someone put it back. At that point, you are led in by a female individual wearing sort of a similar power suit to Fira, except not in color. It's gray, very boring. This individual appears to be cybernetically enhanced. You see kind of a glowing chip kind of above and lateral to the right eye. And as she leads you through the crowds just waiting for this fight, you see people holding up large banners of this monstrosity of a man that the text reads Godbreaker under it. And you hear just excitement before a fight. As you go in, you are led up to the top via elevator. As the atmosphere of the Coliseum changes, it almost looks like the inside of a whole VIP floor of a casino. There's this red suede carpet, lovely jazz music. As Ricky joins us here.
What's up, Ricky?
There we are.
You guys hear me?
You're a little
Yeah.
quiet.
All right. I'm here.
How you doing, Ricky boy?
Bring it in. Bring it in, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Get in here. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry, guys. That
Seems
It is
like-
all good.
You're in a
No
good
worries.
mood, Ricky.
Huh?
Seems like you're in a good mood.
Okay, move. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Before we get anywhere super important,
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my vermilion mutation. My purple eyes go a bit darker red, and like veins around my eyes sort of pop out and run down my face. Gives me an extra blood maledict, disadvantage on death saves.
Sounds healthy.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. So Ricky, where we left off, I had to make some character choices on your behalf,
Oh,
so
boy.
forgive me.
That always goes well.
So essentially, you were in Daru's uncle's house, getting ready to go to the big fight that's going on at the Honor League.
Mm-hmm.
And as you did, a kind of stretch vehicle came to pick you up with an assistant by the name of Toby, who, per your guys' request, took you to the fanciest restaurant in Mag. Well, not the fanciest, but one of the fancier restaurants in Mag City for breakfast. After he took you to a clothing shop where you had personal attendants who were getting you some evening wear for the event. So Virgil saw Fira's amazing white Colonel Sanders power suit, and being enchanted with it, he decided to copy that.
Okay. I thought that was going somewhere else.
No, you're currently in a white Colonel Sanders style tuxedo matching with Fira. And you're all walking into this Coliseum right now. You've got a brown bag of very fancy foods. No one knows what's what except Asher got pancakes.
Pancakes.
As you enter this beautiful suede, kind of suede interior building with this very kind of chill atmosphere, there's not a lot of people here. There's people serving cocktails, and there is someone that's taking bets. Now, at the end of last session, we had all discussed who would be betting what. So if I recall, we had a few people bet against the Godbreaker.
I did.
Ezra, you were in for 1,000.
No, 500.
No, I was in for 1,000.
Sure, 1,000. I think, and Hyde also made a bet.
I don't believe I made a bet, right?
No, you didn't.
Okay. I'm gonna grab a bottle of water. Can you guys still hear
Okay.
me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing's got some range.
Let me know how the kitchen is, Ricky.
It's barren. It's barren.
Okay. So with that, bets are placed, and you are brought to what appears to be the kind of box seats, this private lounge that overlooks the entirety of the Coliseum. It is gorgeous up here.
Before we go into the box seat,
Yeah.
can I like run up to the lady who's leaving us?
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, what's that on your eye?
Oh, this is a VHL processing unit that helps me with my memory. As an assistant to Mr. Von Hippel, I need constant access to contact information, emails, private security things. And with that, she kind of looks a little... She gives you this look of like, she wants to make sure she's not saying too much as she mentions the security part.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I was just wondering.
Oh,
Thanks.
well, if you like, there's a pamphlet that has the catalog of all Von Hippel products. He owns the Coliseum, and this is his private booth here. So prospective business partners can look through and see the accomplishments of the cybernetics, the automotive, and the weapons manufacturing arms of the company.
Would you be able to get me like a copy of the cybernetics that I could take with me? The pamphlet, I mean.
Yeah, the pamphlet's in the box seats.
Oh, I can take that?
Yeah, take as many as you like.
Thanks.
And with that, she says, your meal will be up shortly, and gives you a smile and
Oh shit.
begins walking off.
You say our meal? Shit.
At least we didn't pay for it.
So with that, as you enter, this platform actually extends out kind of over the crowd below you to where it looks like it's one-way glass where you can look down on all of the people watching the fight and the fight itself. So part of the fight looks like it's actually straight below you. At that point, the chairs, the table, everything's made out of this glass that's very difficult to see. But once you get comfortable, as you're looking down, you're literally sitting there and just watching the fight below you.
That's cool.
There's also screens ahead that you get the sense will give you kind of a closer look at, action shots of what's going on. So at this point, it's just you all. No sight of Mr. Von Hippel, Grace, and anyone else.
I'm gonna start
Would
eating.
you like to do anything, or okay? You're gonna start eating.
So what's up, guys? Are we planning anything?
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah.
All right. Dara responds telepathically.
I'm planning to eat these pancakes.
Let's keep any plans like this, please.
Oh, sorry.
Telepathically, I say, you think you can't monitor this as well?
Probably
I don't
can't.
think so. Maybe I'll find out later.
But really, Daru, if you can get a lock of his hair, that'd be great. I say that.
You might have to go to his I'm saying this telepathically, into his private room or something. Or would a cup work? Something he drank from.
Yeah, how big does the body part have to be?
I mean, a leg would be great.
Did you say a leg? In my head.
Honestly, I think... DM question, would it work with the cup? I think it would. It would just be harder, right? The DC would be harder.
Would what? Oh.
For cursing?
What is the name of the curse?
I don't have any... Oh, shit. Specific
What does it say for the
one.
components?
This is something that we didn't go over, was the cursing part. So I don't know how it works.
Okay. I'll hang tight. I'll email you. Okay.
Okay.
I
don't know.
I'll try to go for a clipping of hair. It depends on who's around him.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If it's too risky, just don't do it.
Virgil asks, what exactly are we doing?
Oh, they want to curse him because
Telepathically.
Okay. So sorry, Ezra. I'll give you a couple. You could do with a pint of his blood and a childhood possession. You could do a shred of his clothing, and then other things, but a shred of his clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. A lock of hair from someone the target loves.
Okay.
And those are pretty much your options.
Okay, I'm gonna tell Daru to try to get me a shred of his clothing. Shred of his clothing.
Okay.
Should be pretty easy, right?
Okay, Ezra, make an Arcana check, by the way.
10?
What's that?
10.
Okay. Funny, you remember the components you need for this curse. You cannot for the life of you remember what it does.
Okay.
You might have to consult with Maman Tajera.
Mm-hmm.
She would know. You do know that you can curse him, don't know what it does.
Okay.
With the
Write this
lock
down.
of his hair.
Okay.
Male pattern baldness.
Okay. Also, what am I eating?
Ezra, as you pull out the first thing you see, it looks like a baked and wrapped duck.
I'm gonna look at Daru really slow. I'm just gonna turn and look at him.
As Ezra has this like fully like plucked and beautifully cooked duck that's still completely intact.
Oh, are there any eyes in there still?
I'm just gonna hand it to him. You can have this one if you want.
Okay.
Please. I'm gonna start eating.
I'm
Hey.
really sad. It's really sad to watch you eat that duck. It looks like an
What do you
actual
mean?
duck.
You've had chicken before? Same thing.
Yeah,
Different
but
part of the
It's
land.
just look at its eyes.
I know I am, and he pops out one and puts it in his mouth.
Okay, I'm gonna open up the next one.
I'm so glad I got pancakes.
You open up the next, and what you see is a larger, almost platter-like object. As you take the like beautiful origami paper wrapping off of it, there's a little puff of steam, and this sweet, savory, and somewhat fishy odor. As you see what looks like this layered crab cake, some kind of sauce, crab cake sauce, like a crab cake, like layered cake, with this almost like frozen in time, like lava lamp of sauce that is sticking out of it.
That's cool.
What the
And
hell?
it's got three like pattern, like this beautiful geometric pattern of sauce. Three different like teardrops that go around each one that all have different colors, and then four different spices, like a tiny little pile of spice on each of the four corners of the platter.
Who likes
Wow.
seafood?
Uh,
I know you do,
I
but
I
you
think
have pancakes.
Asher does.
I got pancakes.
You're regretting those pancakes now?
I'm gonna open
No.
up the next dish. I'm gonna put that one aside. I don't want that one.
Okay, you put that one aside. You open up the next dish, and this one is a little more compact. It's circular. As you open it, this one kind of is almost in this weird box. As you figure out how to open it, it's like there's this little button on the top, like a little bead, and you're trying to figure out how it opens. You lift it up, shake it a little bit. Finally, you pull the bead, and the bead comes out with this little like piercing metal stick. And as it does, almost like a magic trick from the Prestige, the entire box just flays out and spins into itself in this beautiful like Japanese fan of a circular plate. On the plate, you have two octopus tentacles
Ugh.
making this shape, as they've got a variety of like, I don't know how to describe it, but like a wasabi-like texture material, like a couple dollops that it's wrapped around of different colors.
I'll eat
What
that.
the fuck is this? I'm gonna give it to.
It was on
Virgil.
the river. I suppose you should have specified you didn't like seafood.
Hey, Daru, can I get a piece of that? Just like a little piece.
I'm gonna
Right,
open
awesome.
the next one.
Rip off a wing, give it to Asher.
You open the next one. The next one looks like this giant, like, this one's so weird. You pull it out and you think there's some kind of mistake, because what you see is almost like a trophy. Like it's this somewhat heavy, thick, like synthetic material that looks like a trophy of an egg. So it's just like this white platform. It looks like if you got like some kind of egg award from the company like Apple Incorporated. You know what I mean? It's just like everything's pure white, and you don't see a way to interact with this thing.
Ezra's just so pissed off right now. I think there's one more
I'll
plate,
take that
right?
one.
Okay,
I'll
Fira,
give it to
you
Fira.
grab it. As
Yeah.
you kind of grab under it, the egg opens, and there's just this bowl of what looks like yellow foam with 2 olives that have like these green sprouts coming out of the olive, and in between you see these like crustacean legs that connect the 2 olives,
Dumb.
kind of obscured by the foam.
Gross.
What the hell?
Okay, come on. There's 2 more plates. There's the pancakes and something else. I'll open the next one.
Okay, you open the next one.
A
I'm gonna
burger.
give a little prayer to the traveler.
Okay.
I'll open it.
As you open the next one, this one looks like just kind of a straight box, like completely black. It's pretty light. This actually looks like it's made of a fine like cardboard, beautifully glossed. You grab it, and there's a lock on the front of it. You kind of open the little latch, and you open it, and what you see is a single chicken tender. That around it, there's like this swirling pattern of
Tell me it's
this
buffalo sauce.
black sauce that changes into a spectrum of red to orange to white.
Oh my god.
Like
You got all
like
the
an actual
sauces.
spectrum, the sauce changes. It doesn't go like change. You like
You got the
it's
best
like
plate.
blended in.
Yeah.
I did get the best plate. Okay. I'm gonna hand the last one to Asher, and I'm gonna start eating my chicken tender.
okay.
There's pancakes in the last box, right?
How many did we do? You had pancakes.
This is the last box.
Yeah, so it's pancakes.
Okay.
So your pancakes are actually, it looks like a kind of standing bowl. As you open it, it's a pancake platter where it looks like someone just made a ton of pancakes, but cut them into like these leaf-shaped things. They're just like these leaves of pancakes.
Cool.
And they're all arranged around the center, which is this like fountain of maple syrup.
Whoa.
Mm.
I got fancy pancakes.
I'm gonna look over at Fira's plate. Is she eating it? Are you eating it?
Yeah, I'm like enjoying it.
Okay.
Whatever it tastes like.
Okay, Fira, go ahead and make a constitution check.
That's 18.
18? Weirdly, the foam is, it's like a whole it's a whole bowl of foam. It's very, very, very hot. Almost unnervingly so. Both in temperature and in spice.
Okay.
But the olives are divine, and those crustacean-like legs, as you kind of pick them apart and get to the like white crustacean meat beneath it, it tastes as though it's been soaked in like this whatever soupy foam as well as butter. It's actually quite nice.
Okay.
So as you are all kind of picking at your meals, there is a loud kind of series of footfalls as a Mr. Torben von Hippel, CEO of the Von Hippel Corporation, kind of blunders into the room, flanked by Grayson. And one other individual that you don't recognize. As they walk in, this is the closest anyone here has ever been to Mr. Von Hippel. This is a big dude. He actually stands about head to head with Hyde, with how large this guy is.
Damn. It's a
Jeez.
big guy.
And
It's like
Daru,
6'7", right?
Yeah.
yeah, he's like a 7-footer. Daru, when you first saw him, he was wearing this large kind of trench coat. As he does, he kind of pulls this coat off. Grayson helps him, and he's got this huge beer gut. But as you look at the rest of him, he's built kind of like a linebacker. There are just like bulging muscles underneath his, formal shirt. And you can hear the creaking of this whole room as he's shifting his weight.
Does he have the body frame of kind of like a Fisk from Marvel?
I'd say a lot more exaggerated.
Okay.
Much more rotund, but also much more, kind of a little bit more like if you crossed like a Hulk with a fat Thor.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, he's a big one.
Yeah, he's pretty massive. He looks significantly heavier than Hyde. Because he's very wide.
You're saying he's a rogue.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
He looks like a sneaky fuck.
So with that, Grayson helps him with his coat. It takes him like a second as he. Oh, well, I'm certainly glad you all made it. Trust you found the place all right. You all look fabulous, by the way. Pleasure to meet you all in person. My name's Mr. Torben Von Hippel. You can call me Tor. Von Hippel's my daddy. How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
I stand up and bow.
Yeah, we got some, those are some of those Eastern manners over there. I appreciate that. I'm a traveled man myself. Little bit about me, and as he walks to the other end of the table, you watch as he presses this almost invisible button on this glass large table, and it flips. As it flips, there's like a glued down beautiful crystal chalice of a dark liquor.
Wait, the table flips?
The table like flipped in on itself.
And what happened to my food?
No, he was on a different table.
Oh, different table.
As it flips, it looked like that chalice or whatever was kind of anchored down, but he just picks it up and pours himself a drink. Says, anybody want a drink? I'm having one.
Want one?
And with that, he just kind of nods at Grayson, and he, at this point, continues. He goes, a little bit about myself. I was actually born on a little piece of shit floating out in the ether known as Adria. Didn't spend much time there. Shipped over here when Daddy died in what was known as a little bit of a mining accident. Spent my time in Mechanus, worked myself from the bottom all the way to the tippy top. I was a mining man, and through hard work, blood, sweat, tears, and good fellowship, made my way to CEO of the Von Hippel Corporation. And with that, Grayson begins kind of pouring drinks for Ezra, anyone else who wants one. That third individual that you noticed, they appear to be wearing a white, almost like, they look like they're almost waiting staff. He's wearing a white tuxedo, or not a tuxedo, but like a white service uniform with black gloves. And he has what appears to be some kind of holy symbol on his neck. Ezra and Virgil, you would both recognize this as a symbol to Ogma, a deity associated with knowledge and arcane practice, and also mechanics, and associated with the city of Mechanus. With that, he grabs his symbol, kind of waves his hand, and you see these arcane gears begin to appear on the table, and as they begin spinning and whirring, he conjures this amazing spread of any kind of food you can imagine that seems impossibly like laid upon itself.
Motherfucker just dropped a 6th level.
Yeah. Ezra and Virgil, you would recognize this as a very powerful divine spell known as a Hero's Feast.
Cool.
And the scent of this amazing food just kind of wafts through the room. And with that, Mr. Von Hippel just kind of looks over at your brown paper bag and says, I can't help but notice you already got started. That's no problem. Where'd y'all go?
What is that called?
To the water lily.
The
We
water lily.
weren't sure that there would be food here. I hope you are
The river
offended.
lily.
River lily.
Yeah, that's a little too fancy for my taste. A little too fishy. You know what I mean? I'm a simple.
Way too
I'm a
fishy.
simple country boy. Some of the city food doesn't quite agree with me.
You can never go wrong with the chicken tenders.
Or just a single tender.
He goes, huh? River Lily does not serve chicken tenders. But enjoy your meal. And with that, he just kind of sits down in the chair.
What was it?
With that, Grayson begins kind of picking off some food and serves Mr. Von Hippel.
Oh, I thought Grayson was going to eat. Gear face.
As you watch, it doesn't appear that Grayson is partaking.
I'll start eating from the table and just say, thank you for your hospitality.
He says, oh, that's no problem. Go ahead and dig in.
I smile. I like Von Hippel. I like him. He seems like a good guy.
I'd like to try to do this subtly, but I want to I want to flush the mutation from my body so my eyes go back to normal, the veins recede. And then I'd like to use mobility. My bones turn rubbery, and I'm immune to grappled and restrained, as I see how fucking big he is.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
Go ahead and make a...
Just playing it safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a stealth check.
Yeah,
Let's use
how subtle is that flushing? What's it I'd like to know?
We're about to find out.
All right. He just regurgitated.
I'm going to play Daru's theme music for this.
15.
Oh.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. As you do, you kind of like sit in the corner, wait till you see nobody's looking, and then your eyes kind of change, and you hear your bones not crack, but sort of like moan as they almost turn into a series of like fluid-like bladders to keep yourself rubbery and limber. As that happens, you watch as Grayson just kind of like looks over in your direction, and his eye's now on you.
Okay.
He looks you down for like a good 15 seconds, and then just kind of like, you notice him keeping his head on a swivel towards you, but he hasn't said anything.
His head. It's good to see you again, Grayson.
He just kind of looks over and just says, Mr. Thal. Right at that point, you begin to hear the announcer for the fight begin to hype everything up, shout out to a couple of the paid sponsors, including the Von Hippel Corporation for allowing the use of the Coliseum. And at this point, the fighters are announced. They save the champions of these fighters for last. As Murloc is brought up, you hear this boisterous voice come from the corner of the room as now Von Hippel is standing up. He appears to have some, what looks like barbecue sauce on his white shirt. And he's actually also got a, like, you know, like the cloth, like, kind of handkerchief status, like a bib, like tucked under his collar. That's also got something that he's kind of been using to wipe his hands. And at this point, he gets up with like a full rack of ribs and a half, plate in hand, standing up, and just goes, "Yeah, there's our boy." And he looks over you guys and he says, "Y'all take any action on this? Odds are pretty spicy in our favor." He's like, "My man, start him young."
1,000 big ones.
500 for me.
Hey, that's there was a time in my life where that's more money than I've ever seen. So, you know what? You're already halfway there. And at that point, your attention is drawn back to the battlefield as they announce this kind of legendary fighter known as the Godbreaker. No one here has seen them. But you watch falling from the sky this literal Goliath of a man drop with these two just massive elemental gauntlets, and it looks like parts of his body, it looks like this individual made almost of stone, and parts of their body are almost separated and like magnetically orbiting around themselves. One of these gauntlets seems to just bleed fire, and the other seems to have this barely contained electrical current that goes through. Some of you that have made bets feel a little like this tiny twinge of anxiety as you see how much larger this individual is than Murloc. With that, Von Hippel looks over and he says, no one's seen this son bitch fight in quite some time, but no one's unbeatable. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Ain't that right, Grayson? And with that, he says, quite right, sir.
How long has it been since you fought last?
Well, been about 2 years. Technically, he's still considered the champion because no one's, well, until us, no one's been dumb enough to fight him, but being dumb enough to break convention's sort of the Von Hippel name.
Can I have more alcohol?
And this is
please, help yourself. Anything you like. Grayson, please hook the guests up. We'll talk business later. Let's just enjoy the fights for now.
This is a fight you've been looking to set up for a while now?
And at this point, the fight has already started, by the way. People are casting spells. You're watching the Godbreaker seems to have some vague control of the elements as you're seeing just these strange effects of fire, lightning, and other planar effects that are emanating from this individual. So at this point, Von Hippel's like addressing you, but he's pretty hard focused on the fight. He says, yeah, to kind of bolster our cybernetics division, the marketing team said that it'd be great. You know, we own the Coliseum, we might as well own the champion too, right? We approached a little bastard who set some fights for the guy, and he had no interest in being part of the team. So, to get what we want, we got to beat him. Then, you know what I mean? If you can't get him to join, you beat him. Yeah, no hard feelings. At least not until after today. Just you wait and see, boy. We've been fixing to set up this fight for about 6 months now. We had this opportunity. We figured in a kind of team-on-team situation, we might have a better chance, and it still counts per the rules. So if we win, we're still the champion. Between you and me, we paid and got a little, let's just say no expense was spared when it comes to outfitting not only our boy, but the ringers in for the team too. So feeling confident.
Let's hope that eye does its work. Excuse you.
So,
Speak of the devil, there it goes. And at that point, you watch as Murloc just completely obliterates like one of the other opponents with this heat beam that comes out of the cybernetic eye.
oh shit.
And he just goes, God damn, I want that eye. Grayson, next prototype. We're popping it in meat. At that point,
Do you
the fight
have any
continues.
cybernetics?
He goes, make a persuasion check.
11.
11?
Yeah.
That he goes, well, I don't want to be immodest. Excuse me. Goddamn taffy.
Goddamn.
Let's just say I didn't get this far just with my wit. And with that, he pulls up one of his sleeves, and you watch as he grabs this, what looks like a metal stress ball on one of the tables. It's actually like a piece of decor. It's anchored down, and it winds as he pops it off, and he kind of turns his arm, and if you look closely, there appears to be like metal fibers and rods stitched like underneath the skin. You can still see the scars, and with that, this metal creaks as he like crushes it like it's liquid.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Was
He goes,
that
listen, as
leftover-
a head of a cybernetics company, I'm sort of the face of the company, right? So sort of have to get high on your own supply, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How old are you, kid?
Uh,
Listen, don't tell your parents I said that. Certainly don't want your dad coming down and kick my ass. I'm sure he could. And with that, he kind of gives you a playful, like, punch on the shoulder.
Kind of like this guy now.
I don't know who my parents are.
Oh, well,
But my brother's high.
pleasure to meet you.
I'm
Well, looks like our boy's doing pretty well out there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
More alcohol,
And with
please.
that, he just turns his... What?
Alcohol,
She wants more
please.
alcohol.
What'd you say? Okay. Ezra, I'm gonna ask you to make a Constitution saving throw at this point.
Yeah.
Is it possible, Mr. Grayson, for me to get some orange juice?
I got a 9.
Grayson looks over and you see him kind of cast a spell and speak into his hands, and he says, "It'll be here shortly." Ezra, you are drunk.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're drunk. So you are considered poisoned.
Damn.
So disadvantage on attacks and ability checks.
Telepathically, hey, Ezra, you want to slow down a bit, right? I mean,
What? I say out loud.
I will say, Ezra, you do have advantage on fun checks, though.
okay.
So it's not all bad. At this point, you see as Grayson leaves, the tone of the room swiftly changes as it looks like many of the fighters on Murloc's team are beginning to go down. And you watch as this very small combatant on the enemy side raises her hand and like slams it down, and you watch as this huge like cloud of arcane energy falls and coalesces into a fucking Super Smash Bros. Fist that and just completely like Gallagher's and just like turns somebody. This individual continues to do so and just turns another combatant into just a puddle of teeth and blood. And at this point, Von Hippel gets very quiet. And you almost hear like the creaking of a ship. Like just every muscle and whatever cybernetic component is just like tensing.
What's that other figure doing?
The third?
Yeah.
Oh, they left after they made the meal.
Okay,
Oh.
so it's just us and Von Hippel here.
For now, yeah. No. Grayson's still there. He didn't leave.
I thought you
Oh.
said Grayson left.
You said-
No. Grayson
Meant the-
made the message. Someone's coming to bring the...
Got it. I say to everybody, guys, should I do something now? He's pretty distracted. We only have a minute.
Maybe we shouldn't do anything at all. He seems like an okay dude.
At this
Um,
point, you hear the crowd start to get louder and louder as a lot of the enemy combatants are routed to like one corner of the battlefield. And it looks like the fight is quickly turning in the favor of the Godbreaker's team. At this point, Von Hippel stands up and says, Sorry, folks. I'll be right back. I gotta... And just leaves.
So we're just in here with Grayson?
Mm-hmm.
Grayson, is he upset? He seems upset.
At this point, Grayson just looks over at you. Can't read any emotions on his face. He says, well, you have nothing to fear. You held up your end of the bargain. If I were Murloc, I'd be a little more worried. And with that, he stands up and walks over towards you, Daru, and kind of sits next to you at your table. And just kind of, he's a little close, just he looks at you. You don't know where to look on his face as the gears are just moving. It's like if you took like a steampunk Terminator and pulled off the mannequin mask and just saw the inner workings underneath. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
As he looks at you, he just kind of like slowly reaches in to his jacket.
No fast movements, buddy.
And with that, he just slowly pulls out what looks like a jet black, glossy folder. Places it down and says, for the work that your troop did, we've been checking up on you. Don't be alarmed, but we know about much of your history. The nature of your uncle's health concerns.
Daru's face goes cold, and he starts to sweat a little.
And he says, please, we're your friends, as you're our friends, right?
Yeah.
And he puts down the manila folder, or the black folder, and pushes it over towards you slowly, and says, we dug up what we can about something called a Project Icarus. Does that interest you?
And just grab the folder and pull it closer.
He doesn't let go.
Does.
As you begin to pull, he kind of like holds it down for about a second and then abruptly lets go and just says, well, the first one's free. And perhaps there could be more gifts in the future if you all learn not to bite the hand that feeds you. Am I making myself clear?
You are.
With that, he puts his hand on your shoulder and almost uses you to like get up and gives you another pat and says, enjoy the rest of the evening's festivities.
Right as soon as he stands up, I cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
I'm going to send out a pulse just looking for any thinking creatures around us in a 30-foot radius. I want to see if there's anybody. Yeah, I want to
Is
see if
this a
there's anybody
psionic ability?
It's a spell, but it is my telepathic ability.
Okay. Okay, so you can do that without... Okay.
Without somatic or material, yeah.
Okay. Is there a saving throw?
Not unless I dig deeper. Right now, I'm just... You can detect a specific creature's thoughts, or you can send out like a wave to try to detect any thinking creatures around you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure there's no other enemy besides him here.
Okay. As you send that out, you don't detect anything except for Grayson.
And then I focus in on him.
Okay. Grayson's thoughts currently are feelings of just having done something that you already regret. It appears that the choice to share this information with you does not appear to be Grayson's choice. And you get the sense that Grayson would not have made that choice. His thoughts shift to now go, he has one purpose, and that is to collect Murloc.
Okay. I don't pry any further. I retreat.
Okay. Grayson abruptly leaves the room. Shortly after he does, you watch as the Godbreaker deals a killing blow to Murloc and the fight shortly after is done. There are cheers, and you watch as very, like, not very emotionally, the Godbreaker just kind of like looks around, just kind of with this look of like, that it? Kind of like sheathes the massive greatsword that he's using, and gets this brief set look of like calm and somewhat look of disappointment, and begins walking out the south entrance of the Colosseum. And you see this tiny, tiny figure that kind of walks a little bit out to greet him and then turns to follow him back inside.
What do you think's up with that wrapped up sword on his back? He didn't even use it in the fight.
Didn't look like
Daru,
it needed to.
You briefly sense. What's the range of detect thoughts? Let me look.
30 feet, I believe.
30 feet? Does it have anything to do with like wall penetration or?
Yeah, the normal, like 2 feet of stone or 1 foot of lead.
Okay. So.
Or like a thin sheet of lead.
You do get a faint. You detect another individual. It's odd because there's like this jumble of thoughts in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a new voice in the ether that you begin to detect. One of purpose. Looking for someone. And there's a name that is familiar. Virgil.
Right before the spell ends, I imagine it only lasts a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to burrow into that person's thoughts.
Is there a save?
There is a wisdom saving throw of 15.
15?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
That is a failure.
Oh, shit.
So I learned something that looms heavy in its mind, something that it is an insight into its reasoning, emotional state, or something that looms heavy in its mind that it worries over, loves, or hates.
Okay.
And it also knows that I'm doing this.
Okay.
Interesting.
As you're peering through, the looming thought that you, or the looming, there is this sense that you feel. You feel this anxiety, this sense of purpose, excitement, destiny, impending doom, the will to prevent it. And at the center of it, finding someone, finding Virgil, looking for answers. There's companions, there's a child, there's a
Child?
there's a these thoughts are almost too grandiose for you to really get a sense of, but there are fears that are like on a cosmic scale.
Okay. But looking for Virgil.
Yeah, that was one of the many things. That was like step one.
Okay.
With that, the presence is gone.
Okay.
Asher looks around the room, looking for a restroom.
Okay.
Is there one in the box?
No.
I'd like to exit.
Okay. Asher, you exit the room.
I gotta find a bathroom, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. You
Right.
kind of look around and you do see a sign for a bathroom.
What's in the other direction?
You look the other way, you don't see anything.
Okay, I'll go to the bathroom.
Okay.
We're alone in this room, right?
Yeah, currently.
Yeah. I'm gonna start stuffing food in the bag so that we can restock the fridge.
Okay. As
Virgil, somebody's here. They're looking for you.
Look at Daru, a little perplexed. For me.
At least they have intent to find you. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like. But they're panicked, to say the least.
Well, if they are meant to find me, then they will. I would not worry about it, Daru.
Very well. Should we, I guess, stay here for Asher?
Probably.
I'll be back quickly. I just went to take a piss.
All right. As you guys are waiting, Asher.
Yes.
After you're done using the restroom, you
Wash my hands.
wash your hands. Okay. You passed. I'm gonna give you a D4 inspiration.
All right. Cleanliness.
With that, you begin to hear what sounds like like multiple shuffled footsteps. It doesn't sound clean.
In the bathroom or out of the bathroom?
Right out of the bathroom.
I'd like to sneakily peek.
Make a stealth check.
15.
15?
Yeah.
As you kind of peek out, you briefly see two individuals dragging a large armored individual, seemingly unconscious, right past you and in a room to the right. As you kind of peek over, one of the individuals turns quickly and makes eye contact with you. And you instinctually just like, what do you do? Do you freeze? Do you...
Open the door and walk out. Just push it open like I was...
Oh, there's no door. It's like a movie theater bathroom where you just kind of like walk out.
Then I just straighten up and walk out and go back to the room.
You begin to walk out, and he just looked at you, looked back, and begins dragging this unconscious body into the room in the hallway. Make a perception check.
Perceive. Oh, that's pretty good. 15. Man.
15?
Oh, never mind. 12. I was just 6 up there then.
12. You peek through. You kind of try not to look. You kind of just give a side peek. You don't really see anything else. He's just brought into a room. And
With a door?
Huh?
With a door? Or is it also open? No door?
It's an open. You don't. It looks like an open room. There's no door here.
Is there a light on?
Yeah, there's a light on.
Okay.
Individuals drag him through and make a turn, and then they're out of sight.
Can I tell, like, is this like a service hallway or just like a standard hallway?
I mean, with that stealth check and that perception check, you were kind of just like blowing past them, so you gave a side look and you couldn't really tell.
Okay.
You can double back. And...
No, I'll go to the room.
Okay.
Hey, when I get back in, I think I saw him dragging Murloc down this hallway. I wonder what they're gonna do to him.
I mean, Von Hippel seems like a nice guy, right?
Yeah, but I'm not so sure about Grayson.
With that, you all begin to hear, shouting. A familiar voice. You can't really make it out. It's something unintelligible, but what you do hear is something along the lines of, "And goddamn embarrass me after all this goddamn planning," and this huge thudding sound.
Gotta be honest, I'm glad I didn't try to steal anything from him.
I sure hope that wasn't a robot arm.
Where is this voice coming from?
From out of the room down the hallway. The
kinda
voice
want-
once again rings out. Wake him up!
Oh,
I'm gonna follow the voice.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay,
Are you,
Virgil.
are you
exits
telling
the
me
room.
or okay?
Virgil,
Did you vocalize
are you
that,
going?
or-
Are you going alone?
Um,
I'm gonna follow Virgil. I'm gonna like get up on his chair all wobbly and then follow him.
Okay. With that, you hear clearly as the door opens. Then get another one.
I'll follow the voice again. Still trying to go to the room.
Okay. You hear these sick, wet thuds,
Oh Jesus! That sounds familiar to me.
and you go to kind of peek through the door.
Yeah.
Are you being stealthy, or are you just walking through? Okay. Virgil and Ezra, you walk down the hallway. Are the rest of you following or staying?
I'm not going down there. I'm not trying to get beat up.
I'm staying with Asher.
Okay.
Thanks, Spira.
I'll walk out of the room.
Okay. Anyone who's following Virgil and Ezra, as you walk and go through the precipice, you see a group of kind of men standing around what looks like Murloc, who is helmet off. You see kind of rough, sun darkened skin, face wrecked. He's being held up by what appears to be like a cybernetic rod that's kind of making up a collarbone. Von Hippel's hands are like inside his thorax, and he's holding him up, just feeding him right crosses to the face repeatedly. As he watches that individual that made the meal is literally trying his best to heal him, as Von Hippel is just like straight up like Punisher, like just like wrecking him right now.
I interrupt and say, "My apologies."
At this point,
Doctor.
you see Grayson, who this whole time was looking at the doorway, sees you, does not react. Is just like sitting cross-legged in a chair. Doesn't react to you seeing any of this.
I say it loud enough for hopefully Von Hippel to hear.
He is in a rage.
Okay. I'd like to. I don't think I have anything to really stop him from doing that.
At this point, another individual rushes through. This one, kind of a younger-looking woman, kind of ties her hair back. You recognize her. She was the one who teleported you all to the sink. You watch as she begins also attempting to heal Murloc, as they can't seem to do it fast enough, as Von Hippel is just frenzied right now.
I'd like to walk toward him, utilizing Healing Word as I'm walking toward calmly to, what's the guy who lost name? What's his name? The guy's beating
Murdoch?
on.
Murloc.
Murloc.
Okay.
I like to heal Murloc as I walk towards Von Hippel, and then when I get close to Von Hippel, if he's not stopping...
At this point,
Go ahead.
Grayson stands up. You get your spell off. Don't worry about the healing, because this is more of like he's literally like bouncing back and forth between consciousness and unconsciousness, between now 3 people healing him.
Oh.
At this point, Grayson stands up and takes a step towards you as if to say, stay out of this one.
I'm gonna use
but he's-
second level calm emotions on everyone.
Okay.
Handy to have. Why don't I have that?
You can have that.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. So it's a charisma 17.
Go ahead and roll
so
initiative.
Oh,
Oh,
13.
13?
I rolled a 18, and so that's an unnatural 20.
Okay. Are you being stealthy about this?
No. Oh, who you talking to?
Ezra.
No. Just gonna do
Okay.
it. Just gonna like walk into the room and be like, oh,
At this
fuck,
point,
and calm emotions.
I mean, Grayson sees you casting a spell. He's going to attempt to he's going to counterspell you.
Okay.
Virgil,
Can
do you
I-
want to do anything?
Yeah, don't I have a counter spell?
Jesus.
I believe so.
Ian, what are you doing?
I mean, to that man's point, I'm not sure yet, but let's counterspell his counterspell.
You're counterspelling the counterspell.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, you begin to cast a spell. Grayson goes to stop you, and as he does, Virgil, you just kind of raise your hand, and this your hand glows with this radiance, and as it does, Grayson's counterspell is lost. What is the saving throw?
17.
Grayson fails. One of the goons fail. The other one fails. Von Hippel, everyone just kind of chills. You watch as Grayson kind of steps back and leans back in the recliner. Von Hippel still beating the Christ out of this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to him and put a gentle hand on his back, and I'd say, I suggest.
Okay.
Guys.
As you.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
We're going to roll an initiative check.
Again?
What was your check?
Mine was 20.
20? Okay. Well, you're casting a suggestion spell.
Yes.
Okay. We'll say you begin casting it right as you touch him.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Von Hippel currently appears to be literally too angry to be affected by any charmed conditions.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm gonna do a Psionic Blast.
What? So before you do, as you cast the spell, he feels you grab him, and he's going to unleash a multi-attack on you. As he is going to pick you up with a grapple at advantage.
I'd say at this point, Daru's just now walking down and
Daru, you're
for
walking
everybody.
in. You saw some people cast spells. You watch as Von Hippel turns, picks up Virgil, and yeets him out of the room.
Just watch him go by.
Daru, make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. 15.
15?
Yep.
Daru and Virgil, you both take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, and you're both knocked prone.
Okay.
As Virgil gets thrown into you, Daru. And with that, you watch as Von Hippel turns and looks at you. He looks bigger, and he looks scarier. His eyes are bloodshot red, and it looks like he literally cut into his lip with his own teeth as he's profusely bleeding from his own lip. With that, he spits blood onto the suede carpet and says, and kind of almost like he was in a trance, he goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Things got a little out of hand in the team hustle."
I stand up and I say, the food was great. God damn it.
Listen, shit, didn't want you to see that. Ooh, and you watch as he is just drenched in sweat. And with that, he kind of pulls out from his back pocket what looks like a handkerchief and just kind of begins dabbing his forehead. And you watch as kind of like his wispy, balding head, he just kind of like slicks back with his own sweat.
I'll go ahead.
And he goes, shit. Grayson, clean us off, would you? And with that, Grayson waves his hands, and the sweat stains that go all the way down to his hips recede. The blood from his knuckles recede, although the cut wounds don't. And he just kind of cracks his neck and goes, "Well, this is mighty awkward. I imagine this isn't how we imagined both our nights going. Look, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to take care of some company business. It's been a pleasure. I'll be in touch with y'all. Sound good?" At this point, he's totally out of breath.
Virgil's more concerned with who he was beating on, Warlock. and he's gonna go and try to check up on him.
You go over. It looks like the other healers at this point have healed him.
He's fine.
He's conscious.
All right. I'll stick around and chill with Murloc.
Okay, at that point he goes, shit. I'm sorry, buddy. And he goes over and just kind of like pats Murloc on the like side of the face, just kind of like gives him like a playful pat on the cheek. And he just goes, that one's on me. I got a little carried away. It's all good. All right, everybody, show's over. Let's get out of here. Let's go home. And with that, he begins to walk out, and he kind of gestures everyone out of the room.
I'm gonna walk back to the other room.
I put my hand on Murloc's shoulder and just try to make eye contact. It's kind of like with eye contact, see if he's okay.
I mean, it's hard. One of his eyes is completely swollen shut, and the other one is like pretty busted. But you meet a pupil, you look at him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do one last healing word on his eye, whatever that does to him, and then I'll whisper in his ears, "All will be well one day, brother."
Okay. Sorry. One, you were looking at his cybernetic eye. The other one was swollen shut.
I'll heal
the swelling kind of like fades a little bit, but it's still broken. He needs like medical attention. There's 2 other healers there who are like still pumping healing into him right now and like starting to bandage his wounds.
Yeah, I just wanted to whisper a word of hope to him before I take off.
Okay. As you leave, Virgil, you're the last one out. Go and make a perception check.
Okay. Uh, 10 total.
10 total? Okay. Virgil, as you're the last one out, you watch as Von Hippel, you and Grayson are the last ones out. He goes, "Wow, I'm sorry," and he kind of pats you on the shoulder and says, "I hope I didn't hurt you, big man. Certainly can't have a... Do I need you to sign a form saying you won't sue me?" I'm fucking with you.
I'm gonna look him in the eye and smile, like genuinely smile at him and say, "You could never hurt me."
See?
And I bow.
Yeah, he says, "Look at this guy. It's solid." And with that, he just kind of like grabs both your shoulders and kind of squeezes them together. He's like, "Hey, you play any ball when you're... forget about it. Grayson, go ahead and give me that goddamn eye, would you?" And continues walking forward. And with that, Grayson stops, heads back in the room.
He's gonna remove it from his face right now? Holy shit.
As those two part and go in different directions, Dar is still outside, lying on the ground. I'd like to use Mage Hand and just like playing dead, invisible Mage Hand, try to reach up and grab like the side of, or like the bottom of his shirt and just give it a quick tear.
Okay. You're aiming because his shirt's kind of tucked in right now. Might be hard to
Go for a pant.
get a piece.
Does he have
Maybe his
slacks?
pants.
Yeah, does he have
He's wearing
slacks
slacks.
on? I'll try to grab his pocket, rip his pocket off.
Okay. Go ahead and make a intelligence, straight intelligence check.
Not bad. 21.
Wow.
21.
Ooh.
You kind of tug at this pocket. As you do, you feel like you got a really good like pull on it. As soon as you see it begin to slightly rip, you get the sense that the slacks themselves are essentially like an armored, what do you call it? Like a polymer. Even with that being said, you rip the pocket such that it's still barely attached.
Ugh.
But you ripped the pocket, like part of it off. So there's just like one flap that's holding it. You get the sense that if you continue to try, you might be able to do this.
Does he notice it all? Does he stop? Does he slow down?
Just a hand check.
Oh shit, dropped it.
I'm gonna say make a sleight of hand check with your intelligence modifier.
23.
23?
26.
Doesn't seem to notice.
Okay. I'd like to
But
give it
at
one
this
more
point,
go.
At this point, he had like kind of walked away. You have to kind of get up and kind of go give chase.
Yeah. Fuck it.
So, says me.
Daru, make a perception check.
14.
14. Before you go, you kind of can't help it. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice as Grayson casts a spell, and Murloc, who is kind of beginning to try to get himself up, just like freezes in place. And you just see his arms like twitching slightly, and you get the sense that he cannot move. As that happens, the individual who made the feast begins to roll out what looks like surgical equipment, and is now removing his eye. The cybernetic eye.
Right. Well, that catches Daru's eye and distracts him, and he lets Von Hippel walk away.
Okay. I mean, he's walking away with Virgil at this point, so it's like you could kind of run and try to catch up to them. Okay.
You could also communicate this to me.
At this point,
Or not.
Von Hippel leads you all back to the box seats and just goes, well, my old man told me that first impressions are everything, and I feel like I owe you all an apology. I kind of made a bit of a mess of this night, and I truly do hope that I didn't ruin your evening. Hope you enjoyed the festivities and the meal. It's truly do look forward to working with you in the future. You're some talented folk. Well, at the cost of putting my foot in my mouth, bid you all good night. And then looks at you, Ezra, just goes, ma'am, and begins walking away. At this point, Grayson kind of rushes up and begins flanking him out.
While all those shenanigans were going down, I would have asked Fira, hey Fira, you think this green is too much?
I'll go spin with your fur.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
You're funny.
Thanks.
At this point, Daru, you kind of catch up to the rest of the group. Where did you leave the black folder?
Then into my...
Okay. You kind of go to pat for it. It doesn't appear to be there.
What the fuck?
Kind of turn. You look behind you. It looks like in the fray, it kind of fell out of your jacket when you got knocked by Virgil, and it's just on the floor.
Shit. I go and pick it up real quick
Okay.
before
you go
anybody
pick
sees it.
up. Okay. I mean, you run over and make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
Sure. One.
Actually, this could be a performance check.
Oh, that changes things. 15.
15. Does anybody have a passive perception above 15?
I do.
I do.
Okay. So the
Yeah, me
sisters
too.
and
Everybody notices.
And the cat notices Daru run and go, like, kind of play it off like he's like, oh wait, is it this way? No, we came here, and then he kind of like turns around and just kind of like slips, and like as he goes to reach down, like it's pretty sly, but like you actually saw it over there before he went over there.
Yeah.
Picks up the middle folder and like he's like, oh no, we're this way, and kind of like goes back over to your group.
Right, so, where to now, everybody?
What time? How many hours until sunset?
It's night already.
Okay.
I don't have an agenda. I mean,
That was an all-day thing.
Yeah, I mean, you were the building and you were waiting for the fight to begin. You were kind of shooting the shit. Yeah,
Okay.
this was a whole day event. It's like 8 o'clock right now, but it's at this time of the year. It's dark. Ezra, you're sober right now.
I'm gonna drink more alcohol then.
Okay. Do you have your own?
Yeah,
Or you're
did
in
they
a-
leave the one there?
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah. You can go. All right.
Just gonna grab
You're
that
drunk
one.
again.
Really gank that?
All right. What are you guys doing?
We can take a break tonight, guys.
Yeah, I'm good. Now we have a substantial amount of money each, don't we?
$2,000
2
each.
grand.
2
I
grand.
have
Besides whatever
1,500
people bet.
now, yeah.
I have a grand.
Okay. I'd like to go kind of sightseeing around the city. Look at the shops specifically, see what's around.
Okay. Okay. So Virgil, you spend the evening doing that. What is everyone else doing with their evening?
If Virgil, I would like to go with Virgil if he'll make a stop at like a weapons store where I can do some arrow buying.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to draw the line there. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Hyde, Asher, Virgil will kind of hit the town.
I'll stick with them too.
Okay. Ezra's there. Fira?
I'm gonna go to a novelty store at the arena.
A novelty store?
She's gonna get some
Like some knickknacks?
Yeah.
How do you
Okay.
like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll meet you all back at my uncle's place.
Okay.
I
So.
bow to Daru as he leaves.
Okay.
I high five Daru.
Okay.
So
So-
high five reciprocated.
Yeah, he gives you a high five.
Actually, I changed my
So-
mind. I would like to go to the nearest bars and start to socialize.
Okay. There's a bar in the arena.
Yeah, I'll go to that one. I'm gonna start networking for us.
Okay.
Wait, what is that? Okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I know what it means, but
Okay.
all right.
Okay. Ezra, you're hitting the bar. We'll start with Ezra and Fira. So Fira, you have there's a ton of like little novelty objects. There's foam gauntlets that the champion had. They're like these like big like Hulkbuster like rock gauntlets that you can like put on your own, and one has like foam fire coming out, the other has like foam lightning coming out.
I'm looking for like a groundbreaker, like ridiculous T-shirt for Ezra.
Okay. Yeah, there is one that just shows the Godbreaker, the last living Goliath, just kind of like walking towards the frame, and he's got just the gauntlets in hand. In one of his hands, he's holding like this black cloth. You see the sword kind of around the back with the symbol of Iyun on one end, wrapped on the other side, and there's like rocks floating around him. And in Metallica like font, it just says Godbreaker.
Oh yeah.
It's like
That's what I want.
really nice T-shirt. Okay, so you pick that up for Ezra?
Yep.
There's a T-shirt and a tank top. Which do you want?
I want the oversized T-shirt.
Oversized T-shirt? Good choice.
Yeah.
That will cost you $40.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's a gift shop
Fucking
at
gift shops, man.
at a NASCAR arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit marked up. Yeah, you pick that up. Ezra, you go to the bars. What are you trying to accomplish?
How many people are in this bar?
This is kind of like the only bar here is kind of like a nicer lounge area.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, I'd say it's got 2 other individuals.
2 other individuals?
You see this sort of like ravishingly beautiful tiefling woman with gray skin, jet black eyes, tattoos, and like a beautiful snake-like bracelet that goes all the way up to almost her elbow. And she's kind of like laughing and almost like flirting with this large dwarf, like very muscular dwarven male, who like she's kind of laughs and reaches forward and like kind of puts her hand over his and kind of says, well, anyways, and then there's like indistinct chatter, and you see him like kind of all fluffed up, and you see him like reach over and he signs something kind of rapidly, and she points at another area. He signs it, and you watch as this like thing he signed just burns up.
Oh, fuck.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, fuck.
With that, he just kind of like nods, and he's like, she grabs his hand and he grabs hers and kind of puts it over hers and kisses her hand, gets up, and he steps off looking all like cocky, like he's the man.
Okay, I'm gonna go and, is this the lady still here?
Yeah, you turn, you watch the guy leave, you look back towards the lady, she's making eye contact with you.
Okay, I'm gonna smile and walk over.
Okay. You smile and you walk over, and at this point, you watch as there's like this like empty glass of liquor that the dwarf left. It looks like some of it he spilled, and with that she sort of like quickly like waves her hand, and it all just disappears. And with that, she pulls, just it seems from out of nowhere, a glass of just this beautiful crystal glass, and kind of pours a drink for you.
Okay, I'll go and sit down and introduce myself
Okay.
and just start chatting with her.
Okay. Before you even speak, she just says, well, you look, my God, you look ravishing.
I was about to say the same thing about you. Let me see
Yeah,
those tattoos.
She says, oh, these old things. To be honest, I prefer yours. I'll admit, I've not seen that sort of design.
I think it's one of a kind. I don't think they're gonna see it anywhere
I
else.
recognize some druidic symbols. I'm sorry if that's offensive or...
No. A person of culture, I like it.
What can I say? I like to be... I'm a student of the world, I suppose. There's something about you. You've got this power that emanates from you as just this female energy. I love it. I don't know what it is. You're a fighter, aren't you?
I'd like to think I am.
Oh, don't be modest.
Around.
And with that, she says, "By the way, what's your poison?"
I don't know what I drink. What does Ezra like?
With that, she stops you and says, "Don't answer that." And she looks over towards the bartender, and she doesn't say anything. She just looks over, and he gives her a nod. Another tiefling, by the way, male, very handsome, red-skinned, gives a nod and begins like fixing up a drink.
Just kind of look over
says,
at her.
She says, if you don't like it, please, it's on me. I have this gift. I know how to match people with the drink of their destiny. Let me know what you think.
Okay. So what brings you here? What are you doing here?
Oh, this is my place. I own this tiny little crevice within the
Wow.
Colosseum. Yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of the sport. Many famous fighters came through here. Some of which I knew before their fame. I don't know what it is. I think some people tell me I'm just good fortune.
This Godbreaker person, who is he? He absolutely dominated on the field. I'm interested to know.
A bit of a protege of mine. I picked him up off of a little disorganized crew out in New Delhi. Of course, back before the whole, But he, let's just say he needed management. And, there's legalities and technicalities, but in a way, I'm sort of like an assistant manager, if that makes sense. I don't handle the day-to-day, but let's just say when he wins, I win.
He won today. I'm gonna put my hand out and say, I'm Ezra Hemlock, by the way.
Ah, Ezra, Quilana. And she grabs your hand with, and then kind of puts her other hand over and says, now, let's cut to it, shall we? You look like someone who doesn't like to waste your time. You're clearly here for something. I'm someone who can get things. What can I do for you?
Me and my traveling crew are just looking around, getting to know people, connections, Not looking for anything specific.
Ah, Okay. Networking.
Networking.
That's smart. Although, in my experience, anything worth doing is best left to be done by yourself, wouldn't you say? People these days so backstabby, catty, and just unreliable.
You think so?
Well, other than, of course, my Shane. Sorry, my Godbreaker.
Shane, that's his real name, huh?
His real name is Shale, but Shane is what people call him. These days, Godbreaker, although if you ask me, it's a little dramatic. At this point, the tiefling brings over this drink. It's got this, like, strand of mint that goes all the way through. It's iced. It appears to be carbonated. It's still, like, fizzing.
Okay.
And with that, she kind of...
Take a drink.
Okay. It's got a straw, so you take a sip of it.
Yeah.
It's surprising. It's strong, but it's very, very crisp, very citrusy, with that last little like hint of mint that kind of accents the alcohol at the end.
You were not lying. I think you just got it spot on.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Anyways, if you're ever looking to be a contender, seek me out. I take on all sorts of clients for management. One of these days, I have a feeling I'm going to manage the next champion. You see, the Godbreaker's great, huge, unbeatable, well, almost unbeatable. Someone with the right know-how, someone with the right pull could make it so that someone like you, just as an example, could be even more unbeatable. So, if you're ever interested, let me know.
I mean, you seem to know people. Do you know about Mr. Von Hippel? Anything about him?
Of course.
He was one of the contenders. And let me tell you, he was not very happy about what happened out there.
Oh, Von Hippel's not a contender. He... And with that, she laughs and reaches forward and kind of grabs your hand the way she did with the Dwarven man. She says, you know, I was about to say he doesn't like to get his hands dirty, but based off of what I heard in the hallway, I think we both know that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
Men and their tempers. How do they do it?
Were you there in the hallway? I didn't see you.
No, it's not an unheard of occurrence. Von Hippel, very wealthy, orphan out of Mechanus, miner of some sort, small shithole company he started with, just materials, resource acquisition. Legend has it he dug something up that changed Mechanus. From there, it was up, up, and up.
Dug something up. Does anyone know what it was?
Well, let's just say the town wasn't called Mechanus until after he found whatever he found. Now there's huge gears that power the city, armies of mindless drones that seem to obey everything that comes out of the Von Hippel conglomerate. What started as a small mining company is now in defense, weapons manufacturing, automotives. I mean, you name it, they're in it.
Huh. Interesting. Surprised no one else has gotten their hands on whatever he found. Sounds very valuable.
They've gotten their hands on it, but whatever these things are, they only seem to listen to him or whoever's really behind the company. I'll be honest, I don't really have an interest in that kind of currency, so haven't really paid much attention.
Yeah.
So, look, Ezra, I need to be going, but take my card. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. if you ever want to be somebody, come find me, and we'll make a deal. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All
I'll
right,
take the
darling.
card.
And with that, she just kind of passes over the card, gets up, and walks out of the bar.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna finish my drink and then go back and try to find Fira.
Okay. So, Ezra, as you link up with Fira, was there anything you wanted to specifically say to her?
To Fira?
Yeah. Or are you just linking up with her to go home?
I'll tell her about the lady I met, Koilana. But
She
that's
seems like an asset.
Yeah.
But look what I got you. I need to take out the shirt.
Oh.
Can you put it on right now?
my god. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on.
You put it on over your dress.
Over the
You
dress.
look so dumb.
This is amazing, Fira. I love it.
Yeah.
Weird.
You actually look at it like you think it would look pretty hot if you like cut it, because it can only get over one shoulder because it's like an XXL. But it could kind of be like, I don't know what those things are called, but like those things girls wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could cut it like right where it says Godbreaker, and
No. It's okay. I love it just the way
Okay.
it is.
yeah, it's basically a nightgown.
Yeah. Okay, I have to get off, guys. I have to go to work, but
Okay.
it was a fun session.
Alrighty.
Good luck at work.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye guys.
See you later.